When the trailer for One Piece Worldseeker was released, there was a scene that showed or teased a few female characters in a steamy spring setting, and a lot of people initially thought that this was going to be censorship. But I actually had thought that this was to help tease the game. I fully gave it the benefit of the doubt. Since fans of One Piece were going to, of course, purchase this game, and it's not a new franchise, I thought that they were leaving the details up to the imagination when it came to the game, and when the game fully released, we would probably see these female characters without the steam. I personally had thought worst case scenario is they do not remove the steam and they wouldn't uncover it. In a sense, I still would have been okay with this because it would have been a design choice, and they chose to leave the scene and the females in the way that they looked up to the imagination. But I was wrong. The worst case scenario is that the scene isn't even in the game at all whatsoever. This mission, which is called Phantom Remedy, is exclusive to the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and Australia. You cannot purchase, acquire, or download the mission in North America. So in those places, you can obtain this mission, but it is not even in the game itself. It is a download that you have to search the marketplace for to download, and it is free, of course. But it's not in the game itself, and if you do not know about this mission or know that it exists, and you don't initially, the second that you purchase the game, go to search for the mission, you most likely will not download it. You won't know about it. It's sort of that extra hidden layer of detail to it. And since this game is rated teen, I am sure that they decided to leave this mission out so no one can complain about there being a suggestive setting in it. But when it comes to this mission, there are no plans on bringing it to the West through a free download or even a paid DLC. I don't believe that you should have to pay for it, I do just want to say that. But there are no ways to obtain it in North America, and you will not be able to obtain it. I personally do not understand this decision. The female characters in this game are all in very light clothing, bikini tops, shorts, and dresses that have a lot of legs showing. I do not think the scene would have been inappropriate at all. This is a game with a teen rating. Teens should be able to handle characters swimming around in a hot springs. It's as if they think teen means E for everyone. That is not the way that this works. It has an ESRB rating for a specific reason. Swimsuits are things that women wear in real life. It is not the same as a fictional character wearing something that a real woman would never wear, as if a strip of cloth or what have you. It's swimwear. Why is this so inappropriate and suggestive that this cannot make it into a teen game? I am pretty sure that teens have been on a beach before or in a setting where women wear swimwear, and they have probably seen a woman swimming in swimwear. I would personally assume Bandai Namco wanted to avoid the backlash in America due to the suggestive nature of the scene. I mean, they are swimming and it is a little bit suggestive, but the art style of this game is suggestive. Now they're facing backlash due to this game having some form of censorship. I fail to understand why Bandai Namco in this situation would remove the scene completely and allow no way to obtain it. I think it is fair if you were to leave it out of the game, to at least have another option to obtain it as a free download, so that people can receive the full experience. It is just one scene, but one scene changes the whole aspect of the game to some people. Some people have seen that there is a scene missing, they will not even purchase or touch the game at this point. This scene isn't even that long and detailed. Why is it that you thought that this would bother people so much? That is what worries me, is what was their thought process behind allowing it in every other version of the game, but not in the North American version of the game? We all know that in this case they are trying to avoid outrage. Since social media is so integrated with everyday lives, there is bound to be someone that says this is objectifying women since they're larger busted, half-exposed characters. But one thing you have to consider is that is the art style of this game. The art style of this game is not for the faint of heart. It is very suggestive, it is very exposed, and all of the characters are like this. Even the male characters, in a sense, are very exposed. And with companies like Bandai Namco trying to avoid that type of outrage, I think that in this case, if they truly believed the scene was too much for the game, then they should have went with their guns and covered all of the female characters up. I'm not saying I want them to do this, obviously, I do not think that I have to say that. But if their mentality was trying to appeal to a specific type of audience, I'm sure that audience would want all of the females covered up and toned down. Which is why I'm a little bit shocked by this move, and the other moves of companies in this type of situation. If you are going to start the process of censorship, why not just stick to it and finish the process of censorship? I am, of course, glad that that did not happen. I love the art style of this game. As a female, I think these characters look great. I love the art style of the game, and I just feel like everything does feel very One Piece, and everything just looks really good. All of the characters are true to themselves. But I honestly was just waiting for it to come out that the North American versions were toned down more than people had realized. And they're not. I do want to be clear, they are not. But I just had this feeling that we would compare the European version of the game and their chests would be toned down compared to the North American version. Their suits would be changed. And I hate that feeling of having to second guess art directions like this. If you created this scene, you would be proud of this scene. If you created these characters, you would be proud of the way that they looked and the way that they were designed. They should not have removed anything. This is ruining the art direction of a piece of work that someone had created, and it's so sad to see that get thrown out in a sense. Yes, they did use it in other versions of the game, but still, it's just that fact of they kind of said that it wasn't good enough and threw it away in the North American versions of the game. No one is truly offended by bathing suits. No one is going to get offended at a scene like this. You have to realize this is something real people wear. They need to stop trying to pick their audiences by deleting scenes. It is not going to work. Companies have proven this time and time again, and I am sad to see Bandai Namco falling for this and believing that removing scenes like this will really appease specific type of audiences. I thought, honestly, that we would see this steamy scene be in the game, but the steam would be removed, and it was a form of trying to tease the game and tease this scene, because I honestly have seen Bandai Namco do this before, and I thought that this would have been a really good move if when it was actually in the game, you know, there was nothing covered up, but unfortunately that is not the case. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way, but I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon.